It's the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia, with your host, Bob Snap.
Hi guys, welcome to the Andy Griffith Show, Facts and Trivia. Appreciate you being here. Today's video is on, did any of you ever notice the change in Andy Taylor from the black and white to the color? And how he got a little snippy in the color and got a little grumpy. I think he got snippy with Aunt B in the later seasons. Let's see if you agree. There's no disputing that the Andy Griffith Show is about as good-natured as it gets. On the rare occasion when the jail's too full, Sheriff Andy Taylor even invites prisoners into his home. There really isn't a more welcoming place in television universe than Mayberry. Mayberry was not some idealistic fantasy land, rather a charming town full of pragmatic people. Few folks in Mayberry would rival the good sense of Andy, which is why the character came to him for his advice. But even he was not immune to bad mood or to throughout his show's 8 seasons. In fact, if you pay close attention, when you get to the later seasons of the show, Andy begins to slip into a more sarcastic version of the character a little more often, particularly when dealing with his dear Aunt B. Now, let's take a look at the dynamic a bit. I've isolated some of Andy's uncharacteristic controlling tendencies and snippiest sarcasms that he's ever aimed at sweet Aunt B. Let's take a look at it. His sense of sarcasm strengthens in season 5. Started noticing the writers having a little more fun with the dynamic between Andy and Aunt B in season 5 with the episode Aunt B's Romance. In the scene where Aunt B is excited to have received a mysterious letter, she spends a little time musing on it, who it could be from. Andy, however, has no patience for that. Know how you can find out? He asks, hovering close to Aunt B and using more edgy in his voice than you'd expect. Open it. When she doesn't, he got more jokes. Want to give you permission note to open it? And when even that doesn't bully her into tearing the letter open, he loses it. Open it, open it, open it. Andy flips his wig over Aunt B's wig. It's in the last 3 seasons of collar episodes that more routinely see Andy's attitude slip into slightly sourer territory when dealing with Aunt B. Perhaps the biggest example comes in season 7 episode Aunt B's Crowning Glory. In it, Aunt B tries to wear a wig to look prettier, and everybody agrees it's a good look. Everybody but Andy, that is. His response when he sees her new do is to decide, what? At first, Andy loses it because he thinks Aunt B has dyed her hair. And she assures him it's a wig. That's somehow even worse news to Andy, who insists over and over again that she go back upstairs and take it off. His problem? No, I don't want people staring at you. In the end, everybody ignores Andy, and the episode ends with no harm done despite all Andy's dramatic protests. Andy thinks Aunt B's too old to drive. A recurring theme in the more jagged exchanges between Andy and his aunt is the older woman's age. Andy simply doesn't think certain things should be done by a certain point in life. Case in point, driving a car. When Aunt B learns to drive, Andy puts his foot down and tells Aunt B she cannot buy a car, saying Aunt B is not the type of woman to drive a car. Why not? Aunt B asks, bewildered. Driving takes concentration, Andy says, with a sprinkling of seeming condensation. Opie stands up for Aunt B, and Andy gets so mad as well-meaning betrayal, he orders Opie to do his homework. In the end, Aunt B gets her way, and everybody cheers, except for Andy. He just pouts. Andy rains on Aunt B's parade. Aunt B's over the moon for most of the episode Aunt B on TV, which sees her winning a whole bunch of kitchen appliances. Among her prize haul, though, is a genuine ranch mink fur coat that Aunt B just can't believe is hers. Of her prizes, she gushes, all the others are so practical, and this is so impractical. Andy ignores her clear joy in the moment to say, for this time of year anyway, aren't you a little warm? It's 82. Aunt B's face falls, but Andy's little jabby line gets chuckled from the laugh track. Andy shuts down Aunt B's plan for a restaurant. Throughout the Andy Griffith Show, Aunt B is always being careful as she can, as she's not getting in the way of a better life for Andy and Opie. She's endlessly giving. That's why it's so surprising anytime Andy doesn't show support of one of her spoken goals, like an Aunt B's restaurant. The premise of their episode is that Aunt B has been talked into funding the opening of a Chinese restaurant in Mayberry. When she tries to tell Andy her plans to ask for his advice, he rushes her through the news, and then is so taken aback by what she says, he makes her repeat it again. That way, she probably would have originally let the lady talk. Finally, once he understands what's going on, he says, "What makes you think you know anything about running a restaurant?" And B stands up for herself, calling Andy's negativity typical male attitude. Andy again teases Aunt B for her age. Here's one last look at Andy's occasional barbs, aimed at Aunt B. And Aunt B, the swinger, Aunt B is delighted to have found a companion who enjoys her company. The only trouble is her date is from D.C. and is used to a more active lifestyle. And Andy feels it's too fast a pace for Aunt B, despite her assurances that she can keep up. Describing her date with joy of a teen girl, Aunt B tells Andy, "We went for a long, long walk. We walked for miles and miles. We were talking so much we didn't notice." Andy immediately burst her bubble. "Sounds like a pretty strenuous evening. Better take it easy." Later in the same episode, Aunt B stays out late dancing, and Andy catches her soaking her feet after. She swears she's just cleaning them, and he teases her, saying, "I guess that makes sense. Some people get up in the morning, throw a little water on their face, and you throw a little on your feet." And he clears his throat and says, "A little liniment." It's yet another uncharacteristic burn from Mayberry's finest. I've noticed, not to this specific, but how grouchy he got in the collar episodes. He just completely, the collar episodes completely changed a lot of them. Him being grouchy, Goober getting smarter. Howard didn't change a bit. He was still boring as all get out. But people changed. The whole writing went downhill. And it's because the writing went downhill, I found out, was because the writers didn't know how to write the show when it wasn't revolving around Andy and Barney, which makes sense because they were the show for 5 years and hilarious and a great, great comedy team. It's just, and there was some good color episodes, but just not near as many as the black and white. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget about classic rock and country music facts and trivia, and classic country and classic TV facts and trivia. Head on over there, check those out, see what you think. Please subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day. God bless. Be praying for you.